You ever notice how the smallest thing can completely flip your mood? Like you're having a perfectly fine day, maybe even a great one, and then one tiny inconvenience shows up and suddenly you're plotting strategies worthy of a spy movie. That was me yesterday. The day started off simple enough. I decided I deserve a little treat, so I drove out to the mall. Nothing fancy in mind, just a couple of hours of wandering, maybe grabbing a coffee, doing a little shopping I probably didn't need. The kind of trip where you think you'll just look and then somehow end up carrying way too many bags. Now, let me set the scene. This mall has a parking lot that should honestly qualify as a competitive sport. It's almost always full. Not just busy, I mean full. People circling like vultures, drivers creeping along at 2 miles an hour praying someone will pull out, pedestrians walking through the lot like they are in a slow-motion movie. If you've ever hunted for a parking space during peak shopping hours, you know the pain. So there I am, crawling up and down the rows, scanning like my life depends on it. I do that thing we all do where you start following a person, convinced they're heading to their car, only to have them keep walking row after row like they're secretly training for a marathon. I swear, half of my day was spent just muttering, "Please let them be leaving. Oh, come on, not another decoy." But then, finally, salvation. I spot a little open space tucked between 2 cars, like it was waiting just for me. I pull in, proud of my parking job, and step out of my car feeling like I just unlocked an achievement in a video game. Small victories, right? A little while later, bags in hand, wallet lighter than I intended, I head back to my car. And this is when my entire day takes a turn. Around the corner, humming to myself, iced coffee in one hand, shopping bags in the other, and stop dead in my tracks. Another car has parked next to mine, which, obviously, is fine. It's a parking lot. That's what people do. But this wasn't just next to my car. Oh no, this car was so close to my driver's side door that not even a toddler could have slipped through. My door was now a decorative feature, nothing more. I stood there for a solid few seconds, blinking, trying to process the scene. I even leaned to the side, tilted my head, squinted like maybe if I looked from a different angle, it wouldn't seem as bad. But no, it was exactly as bad as it looked. They hadn't just parked badly. They had parked at an angle, as if the lines on the ground were a mere suggestion, something optional. Their front tire was halfway over the double lines. My driver's door? Completely blocked. I muttered out loud, "You've got to be kidding me." So I had 2 choices. Option 1, wait around like some kind of parking lot guardian until they came back. Option 2, accept defeat and perform the dreaded passenger side crawl of shame. I chose option 2 because patience, not one of my strengths. I yanked open the passenger door, tossed my bags onto the seat, and began what can only be described as an Olympic event. I climbed over the center console like I was auditioning for a role in a spy movie. At 5'2", you'd think I'd have an advantage in tight spaces. Spoiler alert, I do not. It was awkward, uncomfortable, and took every ounce of coordination I had. Somehow, miraculously, I did not spill my coffee. I finally dropped into the driver's seat, breathing like I just finished a workout. And then the thought hit me. Why should I be the only one to go through this? Why should whoever parked like this waltz back to their car, unlock the driver's side, and slide in all happy and carefree, when I had to perform a full gymnastics routine just to get into mine? No, absolutely not. If I had to suffer, they were going to suffer too. So I came up with a plan. A small plan, but oh, the satisfaction it promised. All I needed was for the car on their driver's side, the opposite side from mine, to leave before they came back. If that happened, there'd be a fresh, empty space for me to slide into. I could park as close to them as they had to me. A perfect mirror. Not even 2 minutes later, someone strolled out of the mall carrying a shopping bag, humming along to their own tune. They headed to the car next to my offenders, unlocked it, and drove away. I could have cried tears of joy. I wanted to roll down my window and shout, "You are my hero. Happy shopping, my friend." The spot was empty. My stage was set. I started the car, cranked the wheel, and with the focus of a surgeon, I maneuvered into that space. I lined my car up so close to their driver's side door that I swear, if you dropped a sheet of paper between our cars, it wouldn't have fit. Precision parking, effortless pettiness. Then I cut the engine, leaned back in my seat, and smiled. Now all I had to do was wait. And waiting is not my strong suit. My heart was thumping with adrenaline, part nerves, part excitement. What if they didn't come back for hours? What if they had decided to spend the entire day wandering the mall? I was about to waste half my afternoon for nothing. But no, I could feel it in my bones. This would pay off. So I pulled out my phone, opened Reddit, and scrolled. 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 15. Every time the mall's automatic doors slid open, I perked up like a guard dog. Was this the moment? Was that the driver returning? My coffee was almost gone, but my determination was strong. And then it happened. The doors opened, and out walked a man. And not just any man. No, this man had a certain air about him. He walked with a bounce, shoulders back, carrying his shopping bag like he owned the entire lot. His face said one thing, smug contentment. My eyes followed him as he crossed the pavement. Each step closer confirmed what I already knew. This was the driver. This was the one who had parked so recklessly, leaving me to crawl through the passenger side like a circus act. And when he saw his car, oh, the expression on his face. Confusion, disbelief, panic. He stopped mid-step, tilted his head, stared at the space between his car and mine. He looked like a man who had just realized the universe was not, in fact, revolving around him. I sipped the last of my coffee slowly, savoring every second, because he wasn't getting in through that door. Not today. So there he was, Mr. Confident Shopper, standing in front of his car, suddenly realizing life wasn't going to be as simple as unlocking his door and sliding it. The smug bounce in his step evaporated. In its place, a kind of stunned stillness, the look of a man whose day had just taken an unexpected detour. I could practically hear his thoughts. Wait, what? This can't be right. Surely there's a way in. Spoiler alert, there wasn't. He leaned down, peered at the space between my car and his. Then he straightened up, hands on hips, glanced around the lot like maybe some kind stranger would appear out of nowhere to solve his problem. But no, this was his challenge alone, his Everest. Finally, reality set in. His only way in was through the passenger side. Now, let me be clear. I had just done that exact maneuver maybe 20 minutes earlier. And sure, it wasn't graceful, but I managed. I'm 5'2", fairly nimble when I need to be, and with enough determination, I can get from one side of the car to the other without pulling a muscle. This man, however, was not me. He was tall, at least 5'11", maybe 6 feet. Broad-shouldered, too. Not exactly the ideal build for what I like to call the passenger side gymnastics routine. I leaned back in my seat, pretending to scroll on my phone, but really I was watching every second. Oh, this was better than reality TV. First, he opened the passenger door and stood there for a long moment, as though psyching himself up, like an athlete before a big match. Then, with a heavy sigh, he ducked in, one leg in, then the other, and immediately the problems began. His knees, they just didn't know where to go. He twisted, turned, tried to swing around, but the center console was not cooperating. I could see him shifting his weight, grunting, muttering under his breath. His bag tumbled onto the floorboard in the chaos. At one point, he tried to stretch his leg across the console, only for his shoe to get caught. He had to wriggle it free, like a fish caught in a net. I was doing everything in my power not to laugh out loud. The effort, the awkward angles, the sheer struggle. It was like watching someone attempt yoga poses they were definitely not trained for. 3 minutes. That's how long it took. 3 full minutes of twisting, grumbling, and clumsy maneuvering before he finally landed in the driver's seat, red-faced and visibly irritated. And the best part? He had no idea I was still there, because while he was battling the interior of his own car, I had quietly slipped out of mine and was standing a short distance away, sipping the last of my melted iced coffee. I let him almost finish, let him think the worst was behind him. And then, just as he settled into the driver's seat with a triumphant huff, I walked over to my own car. Calm, slow, deliberate. He glanced up and saw me. Confusion flickered in his eyes. Why was I standing right there? Why was I getting into the car beside his? And then, oh, the moment of realization. You could see it dawn on him like the sun rising. His eyes widened just slightly. His face froze for a second. I could almost hear the gears turning in his head. Wait, that car was parked on the other side before. I slid into my seat, buckled up, started the engine, and began to reverse out. But not before giving him the look. You know the look? The one that says, yes, this was intentional. You brought this on yourself. He stared at me, bewildered, clearly trying to piece it all together. I like to think the realization clicked fully in that moment, that his careless parking had caused all of this, and that I had simply returned the favor. Balance restored. I drove away with a smile so wide it could have powered a city. My little act of parking lot justice was complete.